Halloween is soon approaching us, which I'm super excited about because I absolutely love Halloween. I love all the Halloween specials they have on TV, I love decorating my place with Halloween decorations, and I love making Halloween costumes. So this is the costume that I made myself for Halloween last year, and it is Russell as a wilderness explorer from Up. I think that this is an awesome DIY costume because you can really do things with as much or as little detail as you want. And last year I was really feeling in the crafty mood and I decided to go as movie accurate as possible with as much detail as possible. And so I wanted to go over how I made this costume, all the various different little tweaks that you can do, and show how you can enjoy Halloween as a wilderness explorer. Adventures out there. So there are 5 main components to your Russell costume: your shirt, your sash, your hat, your bandana, and your flag. For the shirt, I just used a plain yellow t-shirt that I got at Michael's, but you could use any type of yellow t-shirt that you have or anything that is also a polo style of a t-shirt. The hat also made using a plain yellow hat that I got from Michael's, an orange bandana from, you guessed, Michael's. I would have liked to have found a fully solid orange bandana, so you could definitely make your own if you wanted to. The sash requires a large amount of brown felt, or if you want to use, you can also just use any type of brown fabric, and then lots of badges. And then finally, the flag is a wooden dowel with a stiffer type felt. So the majority of the work with this DIY for me was creating all of the patches that are on the sash, on the shirt, on the hat, and the little iron that's on the flag. So I created all these patches in the same way, primarily using iron-on transfer paper. So with this paper, you print out the reverse of your image. So you would see an image like this flipped where his face is on the right side. You can easily flip an image if you're printing it off from Microsoft Word or typically from most other imaging programs. And then what I did was I ironed my design onto a scrap piece of white fabric. So I found all these images printable online. I'll put a link in the description to where I found them if I can. But so what ended up taking me so much time with this DIY was that I wanted to make these look as like realistic patches as possible. So I decided to hand embroider all around them. So with the image that I had printed out and ironed on with my transfer, I then cut that out and glued it onto a piece of white felt so you can see that it gives it a little bit more dimension. And then using a little yellowy embroidery thread like this, I then went around and hand stitched on all of the badges to give them a realistic edge. So doing this hand embroidering on all the patches is what took absolutely forever, but it's also the type of work that I really like to do. So if you're the kind of person who likes to do a kind of soothing, repetitive work, and you have the time, I think it's really nice to add the actual embroidered edge around them. However, say you want just a little bit of a quicker Halloween costume, all you have to do is the previous steps with printing out your iron-on transfer, transferring that onto your fabric, and then you can just glue that on top of some yellowy orange felt and cut that out, and then glue on all your patches. So this full embroidery step isn't necessary, but it's something that I really like to do. Okay, so we'll go over all of the patch components that I made. So to make your Wilderness Explorer hat, you're going to make a relatively large sized patch, and that'd be just printing out the reverse of the Wilderness Explorer logo easily found online, iron that onto some white fabric, cut that out and glue it on some felt. And then whether or not you want to add the embroidery around the edge, all you have to do is hot glue your patch on and you have your Wilderness Explorer hat. The shirt has 2 patches on it, a kind of quasi-American flag patch and then a smaller Wilderness Explorer patch on this left side here. So this Wilderness Explorer patch on the shirt is exactly like the one that you would make for the hat, except this one is sized quite a bit smaller. Now, I myself made this American flag patch based on stills from the movie that I grabbed. I did not find an actual design for this flag, but like I said, I wanted it to be exactly like it was in the movie with a number of stars and stripes. But definitely for simplicity, any type of American flag will do, and you just make it into a patch and then hot glue it on. Okay, so on Russell's shirt, he also has this little badge dangly type thing that's on the bottom. And so this is just attached to the shirt using a safety pin. All this is a very thin piece of wood that I cut into a diamond shape, and then using a gold type paint, I painted on the Wilderness Explorer logo. You then want to add a little bit of cordage with 4 green beads and 4 yellow beads, and I just attached the cordage to the back using some hot glue there. So this is the only other detail that's on the shirt in addition to the patches. So there are a lot of badges on the sash, and like I said, you can easily find online a PDF or printout that has all of the badges, and then you just use your printer transfer paper to turn them into your badges. The order that these badges are in are worked to the best of my ability using the movie stills in their correct order. I think the image PDF that is online does have them in slightly different orders, but again, that doesn't really matter unless you want to go for a kind of crazy detail like I did. So making this sash is pretty easy. It's just made of brown felt. I found it in a pretty long continuous piece that Michaels had. Again, I spend a lot of time at Michaels, but you can get any type of, you want a thicker type of fabric that can support the weight of all the badges on this. And so I measured this sash to my body size, and it's a full no-sew because everything is just hot glued down. So all the badges are just secured down with hot glue. Now, you can't forget about your little grape soda badge. So I made this grape soda badge actually following a DIY that is on one of the Disney official channels. So I'll link down in the description their video on how to make this, because it's pretty easy to do, but you do have to pound a nail with a hammer through the bottle cap. But so this is made using an actual bottle cap that I painted silver with a Sharpie. I printed off the grape soda logo, and then this on top is a clear epoxy sticker. They had these at Michaels again. And then this is just a larger size safety pin that goes through the holes that you hit through the bottle cap with your hammer and nail. And so because this isn't an actual functioning safety pin now, the bottle cap is just hot glued down. So the bandana wears where I didn't go entirely movie accurate because I could only find a paisley orange style bandana instead of just a plain orange style bandana. You could of course make your own, but I already spent so much time embroidering that I didn't really want to think about having to do something else. So this is just your basic bandana. And then there's just a little stopper here. This was made with a large wooden bead, which I also painted the Wilderness Explorer logo on. And so finally for the flag, I took a dowel stick, and this is a stiffer type of felt. And then this is basically another one of like the patches that I made, but just a very large one. And if you can see, this is just the iron-on transfer paper onto the initial piece of fabric. I did not add an additional felt layer underneath it because I wanted it to look more like a flesh flag. And then I just cut out my flag in the shape and size that I wanted, and then I hot glued it down on my dowel. So that is all it takes to make your own Russell Wilderness Explorer Halloween costume. I think it would be so awesome one day to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party or Mickey's Halloween party and wear this costume, because this is one of those things that I spent so much time on that I want to save it for forever, and I think it would be such a fun venue to wear it. So thanks for watching! I hope you enjoyed this video, and please do consider subscribing if you'd like to see more Disney and pin related content. And I hope you have a Zip-a-Dee-Doo Disney day!